some of the biggest AI companies are spending most of their marketing budgets on gimmicky stuff like cafes and hats right now. Anthropic, the company behind Claude, opened a pop-up cafe with a minimalist cat that say thinking on it. Similarly, Perplexity opened an AI-themed cafe in Seoul with an AI DJ and a subscriber perk. The question is, why aren't they leading with benchmark, technical specification, or product demos? That's what they actually sell. So why not just show that? Well, this is what I call leading with taste. And there are a few good reasons why every major company is doing this. Taste has become the single most valuable skill in marketing, and in this video, I'm gonna break down what taste actually is, why it matters more right now, and how you can start building it. What taste actually is. The most basic definition of taste is that it's a judgment call you make when there's no clear right answer. For example, you wouldn't know what part of a launch video would work and what wouldn't, but taste is the instinct that tell you which version of the video to publish, which hook to use, which reference will land, and which one will fall flat. In content and marketing, everything breaks down into a handful of variables: the hook, the visual style, the cultural reference, and how clear the message actually is. Taste is knowing which 2 or 3 of those to push hard on for this specific piece of content, not cranking everything to the max and just hoping it will work. The idea behind taste is to make things feel inevitable and specific to the brand. This naturally makes your brand unforgettable in a subtle way that people can feel but cannot name. And this subtlety is important. Most bad marketing is just slightly off from being good. Like the colors would be fine, but they won't relate to the brand. The copy would be the perfect description, but it sounds robotic. You get the point, right? That is the absence of taste. And most companies do not even know what it is that is missing because nobody in the room have the language to name it. Why taste matter more right now than ever before? The truth is, in 2026, AI has completely collapsed the cost of production to zero. Everyone can generate a good draft in a second. And because of this, the bar of what is considered acceptable for content has risen dramatically. But that is exactly why taste is worth more today. You see, when everyone can produce competent content, competent is no longer enough. The differentiator stopped being, can you make it, and become, do you know what is worth making? And this has already happened once before with physical goods. For example, Chinese manufacturer mass-produced really nice clothing for an insanely low price. But this didn't eliminate competition or make the industry redundant. It simply moved the differentiator from quality of construction to quality of judgment. Today, clothing brands are focusing on adding taste to the design, their marketing, rather than focusing on producing and selling whatever they can manufacture the fastest are winning. And this is exactly what AI did to content and marketing. The thing that AI is trained on is existing pattern. By design, it predicts the safest, most conventional answer. It optimized towards what has already worked because that is what it's trained to do. But most of the campaigns that people actually remember look risky and even look wrong for the first time someone saw them. You would never remember an ad that looked like every other ad, but you will remember a video where something was controversial is happening. Here's the competitive pressure effects that nobody's talked about. Once everyone knows what an AI-generated ideas sound like, showing up with a generic idea in a meeting has now become lazy. And that fear is actually raising the bar. People are working harder to sound human and original, specifically because AI-generated ideas have become instantly recognizable and instantly disqualifying. This is why you might see some ad where there's intentional typos or something super specific that humans experience. Even that is taste because AI smoothed everything into the correct, safe language, but humans are meant to make mistakes. And something as simple as typo can be relatable. Let me put it this way. Taste is the proximity for trust. AI has made everything faster to produce and easier to distrust. There's a lot of good content that AI can generate, and it's polished too. But sometimes it's too polished to the point where it feels hollow. And trust me, people can feel it even when they cannot name it. Taste is what makes a person think something is like, a real human made a real decision here. And that signal is what actually builds trust with an audience now. The real reason why companies like Anthropic and Perplexity, companies selling technical abstract, kind of unsettling products, put so much effort into making their marketing feels human, warm, and personal instead of leading with technical spec sheet. They know that marketing is rarely about the feature of whatever they're selling. The key is to touch that human feeling, and you use taste as the delivery mechanism for that feeling. Now, what does taste actually look like in the real world? Instead of telling you what it looks like, let me show you some brands that are actually nailing it right now. Anthropic built Claude, which is generally one of the most advanced AI systems on the planet. Their product is infrastructure-grade artificial intelligence. But look at how they're marketing it. Their Keep Thinking campaign is direct riff on Apple Classic, Think Different. But instead of putting celebrities in the ads, they put ordinary people in aspirational scenario. And that choice tells you everything. The 1997 playbook of borrowing a monocultural celebrity fame no longer works because monocultural fame no longer exists. Everyone has years of microframe instead. So Anthropic kept the spirit of the original idea but completely rebuilt the execution for how culture works today. And honestly, whether you think the cafes and the minimalist hat and the quiet design is genuine branding or just window dressing, it does not matter. Either way, it proved the point. Even companies that are building this technology believe that how something feels matter more more than what it does. And then you have Ramp. They sell corporate card. That should be the most boring category in fintech, but they market it like a media company. They hire Brian, Kevin from The Office, as the fake CFO and just live stream his day. That single stunt reportedly pulled over 100 million views. Their whole tone is aggressive comparison content, sharp opinions, and actual humor. The difference is that every other fintech sound like a press release. Ramp sound like your smartest friend who also happen to work in finance. That's what makes their marketing so good. They figure out that the unwritten rules of their category were holding everyone back, so they just stop following them. The pattern behind Anthropic and Ramp is the same. Something punches through the culture without asking permission. The group chat picks it up, the people share it faster than any paid push could, and then the brand double down on whatever the audience is already amplifying instead of forcing a new message. No, don't get me wrong, paid ads are still important, but they come after you know what's working. What happens when the money is there, but the judgment is not? Now I just show you Ramp and Anthropic, really good example of marketing, but let me show you the other side of that, because having a big budget does not save you if the judgment is missing. And honestly, a lot of time, the budget is actually part of the problem. Look at Coca-Cola fully AI generated holiday ad. It's a massive brand with pretty much unlimited resource, and yet they put out AI generated content. And since there was no human connection, it feels like nothing. Go down to the comment section and you'll see how people are literally appalled by the decision to use AI for an ad. And this isn't a one-time thing with Coca-Cola. This happens over and over again with big companies. And it almost traces back to the same root cause. The work was made to survive internal committee approval, not to actually move a real person. And let's be real, the stakeholders are mostly boomers. They just try to stay safe, and by the time it ships, what is left is inoffensive and also forgettable. You can always tell when this has happened because you could swap any other logo under the campaign and nothing would feel wrong. The best work is unmistakably tied to one brand. It could not exist anywhere else. And the fix is never more budget. It is fewer people with veto power and one person with clear point of view who get the final say. And this brings me to why tech companies in particular struggle with this more than anybody else. Why the smartest founder always make the worst marketing decision. Engineers and product people are trained to optimize for one thing: correctness. Does this claim hold up under scrutiny? Is this technically accurate? And can we prove it? That instinct is what builds great products. But this absolutely kills marketing. The truth is, in marketing, resonating with an audience matters a lot more than being correct. And if it doesn't feel genuine to them in the first 2 seconds, you're done. And that's the mistake that tech founders make. They overvalue precision and completeness because they want to explain the full mechanism. List every feature and literally show off what they're built. I get it. They're proud of their product. But in terms of marketing, this list of features and boring stuff kills the hook every single time. The other problem is that most tech companies' content teams only look at what other tech companies are doing. So everything ends up looking the same. It's always the same font, a familiar looking animation, all of which is plain boring. Nobody's pulling reference from film, fashion, music, from anything outside the industry. And when your only inputs are your competitors, your output is going to look exactly like your competitors. I saw this play out with a tech client recently. They needed a launch video. The obvious move would have been a straight product announcement, and we skipped it completely. Instead, we borrowed the Wired most asked question interview format and applied it to a niche that it has never been used in. We animated cartoon character directly into real life footage, which felt fresh because everyone is used to seeing either pure live action or fully AI generated videos by now. The whole script was built around questions that people were already looking for. The product only showed up near the end once the viewer already cared. And this format got us 450k on views on X completely organically. We didn't pay a single person to push the video. What did we do? We took a simple risk, and as always, we didn't reinvent the wheel. The most asked question formats already exist. We just applied it to our client's niche. So the question here that most of you are probably thinking is that if this is a skill and not a gift, now how do you actually get better at this? Well, it works the same way as building muscle. There are 3 steps to follow. First, volume. Second, intensity. And third, consistency. You have to consume a lot of content and actually engage with it instead of mindlessly scrolling past. And you have to keep doing both for the long time. The first thing is becoming obsessive about noticing patterns. Not just, I like that video, but that video worked because the hook created a question before the viewer ever saw the product. Or that one failed because the first 3 seconds felt like an ad. You have to force yourself to get specific. Then you calibrate to reps and fast feedback loops. Try different things, watch what performs, and more importantly, study the gap between what you predict would work and what actually did. That gap is everything. Every time you're surprised by a result, you have something new to learn. And chances are you're gonna get surprised a lot. But the thing that gives you the real range is cross-pollination. The best people that I've ever worked with are the ones pulling reference from Wes Anderson films and applying them to a launch video, and having it actually make sense. That kind of range does not come from studying your niche deeper. Even I try to use reference and take inspiration from stuff that's completely unrelated to my niche. The fashion world, cinema, TV show, music videos, anything and everything can give you a tasteful idea. Here's the thing that most people get backwards. This is mostly about what you cut, not not what you add. It is looking at every element of a video and asking, is this earning its place or is it just filling space? Somebody on the team has to be the person whose job is to say no. You can't have a yes man on your team alone. And one more thing, watch your content diet. If you spend hours scrolling through low effort content or AI slop content, your standard drop without you even noticing. Curate your feed on purpose. And whenever you see something is trending, do not just notice that it is working. Ask yourself, why is working? That question is the whole game. Look, the bigger picture. We all know that AI made everyone fast, but fast doesn't always mean right. We live in a world where anyone can produce content at the push of a button, and honestly, that gives us an advantage. People are relying on AI alone without even thinking about what stuff works. But if you add taste to your content, made it look and sound like an actual human being spent time on it, you are gonna crush the competition. Escape the competition through authenticity. No doubt. So start paying attention differently. Look at why something is working and apply that to your content. I hope this video helped you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.